To parents who've lost a child, what's your story? My son, Ben, spent his whole childhood in a wheelchair. When he was just 3, a car accident, caused by an impaired driver, changed everything for us. After years of intense recovery and physical therapy, Ben finally took his first steps at age 15. I still tear up remembering how hard he cried that day, pushing himself to stand and walk. We even threw a huge block party for him. He still had a lot of muscle to build, and it wasn't until he was 18 that he could really walk and run without trouble. Once he could move freely, Ben wanted to try everything he'd missed. He signed up for every sport his high school offered, and he was incredible at all of them. But running was his true passion. I remember him coming home one day after a 3-hour run, beaming. "Mom," he said, "the way I feel when I run is something I've wanted my whole life. Just pushing my body to its limit, being able to do it." It made me so happy to see him excited about something so simple. So when he told me he wanted to run an ultramarathon, I was supportive. But then he told me it was a 100-mile run through a forest. "Are you sure, Ben?" I asked. "That's a really hardcore run." He was insistent, promising to train for 6 months. When race day came, I told him to check in with me. He texted a few times, and by the time he was 50 miles in, it was almost midnight. I told him to get some rest and finish the next day. He liked my message, but 20 minutes later, when I checked his location, he was still moving. I texted 5 more times with no response. Then I noticed his location wasn't moving anymore, and he was off the race course. My heart immediately started pounding. I jumped in the car and drove to the course. By the time I got there, the sun was rising. I ran into the forest, calling his name, but there was no answer. I checked his location again, and it said he was right in front of me. But all I saw was a big drop leading to a ravine. My heart was in my throat as I ran up and looked over. The sight of Ben at the bottom was the most terrible thing I've ever seen. I started screaming, completely panicked. Eventually, someone from a nearby medical tent came over. As I choked out what happened, she just hugged me tight and called emergency services. They said it was a common accident for runners who pushed themselves too hard, ignoring their exhaustion. It was the worst day of my life.